Okay, so here's something to think about. What if the end of a marriage wasn't about drama or betrayal, but just quiet acceptance? That's the premise Bradley Cooper explores in his latest film, Is This Thing On? And it's surprisingly relatable.
That's such an understated way to approach a breakup. Most movies about relationships falling apart tend to go big. Fights, tears, dramatic exits. What's the story here?
The film opens with Alex and Tess Novak, played by Will Arnett and Laura Dern, deciding to end their 26-year marriage. There's no shouting or slamming doors, just a simple mutual acknowledgement that it's over. Alex moves into a small bachelor pad, while Tess stays in the family home with their twin 10-year-old boys. It's all very civil, almost unsettlingly so.
That's such a different tone from what you'd expect. So, what drives the narrative forward? It doesn't sound like there's much conflict.
The story really picks up when Alex stumbles into stand-up comedy. He's walking past a club, doesn't want to pay the $15 cover charge, and is told he can get in for free if he does a 5-minute set. So, he gets up on stage with no plan, no material, and just starts talking about his marriage breakdown. It's raw, it's honest, and somehow it works. The audience connects with him, and he finds this unexpected outlet for his emotions.
That's such an interesting choice for a character arc. Comedy as therapy. It makes sense. Some of the best comedians turn their pain into humor. But I imagine this complicates things with Tess. How does she react to Alex airing their personal life on stage?
That's where things get really interesting. One night, Tess shows up at a comedy club where Alex is performing, completely unaware of his new hobby. And Alex has no idea she's in the audience. It's this pivotal moment in the film, almost like a crossroads for their relationship. Tess isn't just there to watch Alex, though. She's also going through her own transformation. She's a former U.S. volleyball player, and she decides to get back into the sport, this time as a coach.
I love that Tess has her own arc. It's not just about Alex's journey. She's rediscovering herself, too. It sounds like the movie gives equal weight to both characters' stories.
Exactly. And it's not just about Alex and Tess. Their best friends, Christine and Balls, yes, his name is Balls, are also dealing with a crumbling marriage. Christine, played by Andra Day, is angry and frustrated, while Balls, played by Bradley Cooper, is a struggling B-grade actor. Their relationship is much more volatile, almost like a mirror to Alex and Tess's quieter dynamic.
Wait, his name is Balls? That's a choice. But I guess it adds some levity to what sounds like a pretty heavy story. How does Bradley Cooper do in the role?
He's great. He's heavily bearded and almost unrecognizable. But he brings this mix of humor and sadness to the character. Andra Day is fantastic, too. She channels this pent-up energy, this simmering anger that feels so real. Their dynamic adds another layer to the film, showing a different kind of marital struggle.
It sounds like the movie is juggling a lot. 2 marriages, individual character arcs, comedy, drama. Does it all come together? Or does it feel a bit scattered?
It takes a little while to find its footing. The beginning feels a bit awkward, both in terms of the story and how it's presented. But once it gains traction, it becomes a more conventional narrative. There's a rawness to it, especially in the way the characters express their frustrations and desires. Will Arnett is very authentic as Alex, stumbling his way through this new chapter of his life. And Laura Dern, as always, is phenomenal. She plays Tess with such depth and nuance. You can feel her disappointment, her longing, her resilience.
Laura Dern is incredible. She has this way of making you feel everything her character is going through. And it sounds like the supporting cast is strong too. Christine Ebersole and Ciarán Hinds play Alex's parents, right?
Yes, and they're great. Ebersole plays Marilyn, Alex's mother, who's not exactly warm or empathetic. She's a bit detached, almost cold. Hinds, on the other hand, plays Jan, Alex's father, who's much more in tune with his son. Their dynamic adds another layer to Alex's story, showing where some of his insecurities and struggles might come from.
It sounds like the movie touches on a lot of themes: connection, identity, reinvention. Does it feel heavy-handed or does it strike the right balance?
it's a bit of both. There are moments where it leans into the Hollywood treatment. Things get a little too neat, a little too sweet. But overall, it raises important questions about what it means to connect with someone and what happens when that connection fades. It's not perfect, but it's heartfelt and thought-provoking.
And it's inspired by a true story, right? Something about British comedian John Bishop?
That's right. In 2000, Bishop was separated from his wife and decided to try an open mic night. He ended up using his personal experiences as material, and it became a turning point for him. His wife even showed up at one of his shows without knowing he was performing, which is directly mirrored in the film. Bishop shared this story with Will Arnett, who co-wrote the screenplay with Bradley Cooper and Mark Chappelle.
That's such a fascinating origin story. It makes the film feel more authentic, knowing it's rooted in real-life experiences. So, final thoughts. Would you recommend it?
I would. It's not a flawless film, but it's worth watching for the performances and the themes it explores. It's rated M, and I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Sounds like one to check out. I love movies that make you think about life and relationships, even if they're a little messy. Thanks for walking me through it.
You've been listening to Movies First.
Available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favourite podcast player. You can also stream on demand at Bytes.com.
This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.